There are cats who are deeply loved, yet have never fully relaxed in the very home they live in. You can feed them on time, call their name gently, even hold and cuddle them every day, and still, their body keeps a small layer of caution. That does not mean your cat is cold. It also does not mean you are doing too little. Very often, what they are looking for is not more affection, but a person steady enough for them to predict the rhythm of your presence, the way you touch, and the pause before what comes next. And the first place things go off is usually not one single gesture, but the way we misunderstand what a sense of safety really is. A lot of people love their cat in all the obvious ways. They feed them on time, they buy the good treats, they talk softly, they pet them every day. And still, the cat stays just a little bit guarded. You can see it in small moments. You walk in, drop your groceries, say their name, and they watch you before they move. One woman said that after her husband passed away, she used to come home and ignore her cat, Barnaby, until she had settled in. Then, for the past week, she started doing one simple thing instead. She put her bags down, got down on his level, and greeted him first. The difference was immediate. He became more affectionate in the evenings. That kind of change matters because it shows something most people miss. We tend to judge love by how much we do. Cats often judge safety by how easy we are to read. Always a person who is warm one day, rushed the next, gentle in one moment, intrusive in the next, can feel hard to keep up with, even if they mean well. From our side, that seems unfair. From the cat's side, it feels uncertain, and uncertainty keeps the body from fully settling. That is why extra affection does not always create extra ease. Sometimes it does the opposite, not because your cat is distant, not because you are failing, but because your presence keeps changing shape. Another owner said her cat had started sleeping closer to her face after she changed the way she greeted him, and that he had not done that in 8 years. That kind of shift usually does not begin with bigger love. It begins with steadier love. So the first real question is not, how much do I care about my cat? It is, how predictable do I feel to my cat? And once that starts changing, the signs rarely show up all at once. They show up a little at a time. A lot of people assume gentleness is only about intention. If your voice is soft, your hands are kind, and your cat is loved, that should be enough. But think about how many tiny moments in a day happen too fast. You walk in, drop your bags, hang your coat, kick off your shoes, and head across the room. To you, that feels normal. To your cat, that can feel like a lot of movement arriving all at once. The same thing happens when you reach to pet them before they have finished looking at you, or when you lean in right after they finally came close on their own. That is where a lot of confusion starts. People often read hesitation as distance. They think, my cat moved away, so they must not have wanted me. But sometimes your cat is not pulling away from you. They are trying to catch up to you. They are still taking in your footsteps. Your hands, your direction, your speed. A slow blink works partly because it gives your cat something quiet and easy to follow. Even 3 seconds can change the whole feeling of a moment. 3 seconds before you touch. 3 seconds before you step closer. 3 seconds for your cat to decide that nothing unexpected is about to happen. You can see this in everyday routines. One person comes home, drops the groceries, and keeps moving. Another comes in, puts everything down, gets low, and says hello first. The actions are small. The pace is not. That is why 2 people can love their cats just as much, and one cat still seems more at ease. It is not always about affection. It is often about timing. Once you notice that, a lot of behavior starts to read differently. Your cat waiting before they approach you may not be caution in the way you thought. It may be a request for one small pause. And when you start giving them that pause, they often begin meeting you in a different way, which is exactly why the next part matters so much. The same home, the same food bowl, the same person can still feel completely different to 2 different cats. Here's where people get stuck. They hear that cats need peace while eating, and that sounds simple. Then their own cat walks to the bowl, looks up, and waits. One person described a cat who would not start until she said, "Sweet girl." Another said her previous cat wanted to be told he was a good boy and watched while he ate. And their current cat does something different again. She wants the food there first, but she waits to eat until her people sit down with their own dinner. So now the advice seems to fall apart. If quiet helps, why would a cat ask for company? If space matters, why would another cat want a hand on its back while it eats? That is exactly why a single rule will only take you so far. The scene may look the same, The bowl is in the same place. The person is the same person. But the feeling the cat is trying to reach may be completely different. Some cats settle when nothing interrupts them. No voice, no hands, no one standing too close. For them, calm means being left alone long enough to relax into the moment. Other cats settle when a familiar person stays nearby, not because they want constant interaction, but because they have learned that this person's presence means nothing bad is about to happen. In that case, the person is not a distraction. They are part of what makes the moment feel safe. You can hear that difference in the details people share. She won't eat until I say, "Sweet girl." He wanted us to tell him he's a good boy and watch him eat. Our current cat wants to eat with us. Those are not three versions of the same cat. Those are three different ways a cat can arrive at ease. That also means you have to be careful. One cat's comfort cannot become every cat's instruction manual. A rescue who still sleeps under the bed after 4 years may need distance first. Another may need your quiet presence before the body loosens at all. If you miss that difference, you can be kind and still feel confusing. So the better question is not, what should cats want here? It is, what helps this cat settle here? Once you start asking that, a lot of mixed signals stop looking mixed. And it also prepares you for something even bigger, because this difference becomes even clearer with cats whose bodies are still carrying older fear. This is the part most people miss, because change with cats rarely arrives in a dramatic way. It usually does not look like this. Distant on Monday, glued to you by Friday, it is quieter than that. One woman said that for the past week, she started greeting Barnaby the moment she came home instead of waiting until she had settled in. She put the bags down, got on his level, and said hello first. He did not become a different cat overnight, but he became softer in the evenings. Another person said that for the past couple of days, her cat had started sleeping closer to her face, something he had not done in 8 years. Those are the kinds of changes people miss when they only look for big affection. The first sign is usually not more cuddling. It is less tension. Your cat startles less when you walk by. They do not leave the room as quickly. They stay where they are when you shift in your chair. That comes first. Then something else starts happening. They begin choosing your company a little more often. They show up near your desk. They settle closer on the couch. They wait in the doorway instead of watching from across the room. That does not always mean they suddenly became clingy. It often means they no longer feel like they need as much distance to stay comfortable. The deepest change is the easiest to overlook. It shows up when the body gives up a little more of its guard. Sleep looks heavier. Movements look slower. The cat stays put longer. That is why the better question is not, does my cat love me more now? The better question is, does my cat have to protect itself less around me now? Because that is often where the real shift begins. And once you see it that way, even small progress starts to feel unmistakable. This is where a lot of people get discouraged. The house is calm, the people are gentle, the routine is better than it used to be, and still one rescue cat hears a loud sound and disappears under the bed. Another still chooses the space under the couch. One owner said her cat had lived with her for 4 years and was still a little skittish around loud noises and movement. That can feel confusing, especially when the cat also comes looking for you, eats near you, or settles in the same room. It helps to understand that some cats are not only responding to what is happening today, they are also responding to what their body learned a long time ago. If life once felt unpredictable, the body remembers that long after the danger is gone. So a cat can trust your voice, trust your routine, trust your hands, and still keep an exit in mind. That is why a cat may hide under the bed, under the couch, or even under the pillows and still be attached to you. Those choices are not always a rejection of love. Sometimes they are the last pieces of old fear letting go slowly. That changes the question. Instead of asking, why is my cat still like this? It becomes, what has my cat stopped needing to defend against as much as before? That is a very different thing to notice. Maybe the cat still startles, but comes back faster. Maybe they still sleep in a covered spot, but no longer leave the room when you stand up. Maybe they still keep distance from sudden movement, but they no longer avoid you. And that matters because boldness is not the only sign of trust. A cat can believe in you before they believe in the world around them. They can want your company and still need a hiding place. They can be affectionate and cautious at the same time. So if your cat is not turning into the fearless, cuddly version you hoped for, do not assume nothing is changing. Sometimes the biggest change is quieter than that. Sometimes it looks like a cat who still needs the bed frame, but no longer needs to feel alone under it. And if that is where your cat is right now, you are not too late. You may not need to do more. You may just need to keep being steady long enough for their body to finally believe what their heart is already starting to learn.